What if I told you that you're living in a simulation? What if what you call reality is actually just an artificially created world running on pre-programmed algorithms? We've all gotten used to thinking of the world as something constant, stable, even though sometimes we encounter moments that can't be explained. But what if these strange coincidences, dreams, glitches in reality aren't just random, but signs that the reality we live in is not what we think it is? And what if these anomalies are like bugs in the simulation that you just haven't noticed until now? Imagine this. You're walking down the street thinking about something, and suddenly you see a phone number on a billboard that matches your friends whom you haven't spoken to in years. Or you're thinking about someone you haven't seen in a while, and out of nowhere they call you. Or, even stranger, you open a book to a random page and the words you see answer a question you were just contemplating. There are plenty of examples like this. You've seen them, felt like they weren't just coincidences, they're not just random events, and here's why. We encounter synchronicities, a phenomenon that has long fascinated psychologists, mystics, and scientists alike. Psychologist Carl Jung, one of the key figures to study this phenomenon, believed that synchronicities aren't random. Rather, they're signs of a deeper order, a connection between our consciousness and the external world. What if these aren't mere coincidences, but small glimpses of the simulation revealing itself to you? Perhaps you've started noticing that over time the world around you feels increasingly strange and inconsistent with your previous expectations. Time suddenly seems to behave differently. It either slows down or speeds up depending on how you're feeling. You experience moments that seem too perfectly timed, too synchronized to be random. It's not just intuition or coincidence, it's the beginning of perceiving that the world may not be as it seems. In quantum physics, we observe phenomena that can't be explained by classical physics, such as superposition or quantum entanglement. These phenomena suggest that reality may be far more flexible and malleable than we think. And if such incredible flexibility exists at the microscopic level, what if it's reflected in our macroscopic reality as well? What if everything happening around us is simply a reflection of a hidden algorithm, and what we call reality is just a simulation? Now imagine that you start noticing oddities in everyday things. You're walking down the street and feel like the people around you are moving in strange synchronized patterns, almost as if everything around you is responding to a universal rhythm. You keep seeing the same number everywhere, on clocks, phone numbers, addresses, and it's not just some random coincidence. You start questioning, what if this isn't just a trick of perception? What if these numbers are like hidden signals left in the system designed to get your attention? Or maybe at some point you stop and realize that your entire day feels prearranged, as if you're not the one generating events, but rather they're being generated for you. Let's return to synchronicity. This phenomenon suggests that all our thoughts, emotions, and actions can create hidden connections with the external world. It's as if the world around us isn't just a random collection of events, but a connected and governed code that responds to our internal state. Psychologist Carl Jung believed that synchronicities are not a matter of mere chance, but a reflection of the deeper connections between our consciousness and the universe. But why does the world seem to respond so directly to our thoughts and feelings? Why do these events appear at the exact moment we start noticing them? What if all of this is tied to the idea that our reality, like a simulation, reacts to us, responding to our inner worlds? But if the world is a simulation, who or what is running the show? Why does reality sometimes feel so unreal, with such bizarre glitches and bugs? One of the most fascinating aspects of the simulation theory is the question of consciousness. Who or what creates this world we're living in? Could it be something more powerful than we can even imagine? Modern science and philosophy grapple with this question, and those who adhere to the simulation hypothesis believe that we might be part of a massive computer program created by a higher intelligence or even an artificial consciousness. But what if we ourselves are part of this simulation? What if our brains are simply interfaces through which we experience it, and we're just components of a much more intricate system? Here's another intriguing aspect to consider. Have you ever noticed how sometimes it's difficult to distinguish your dreams from reality? Occasionally, it feels like events that occur in your dreams cross over into your waking life, or you wake up and can't immediately tell what was real and what was just a dream. What if these dreams are like windows into another reality, into a parallel simulation? Could we be living in multiple layers of reality at once, and when our minds start to recognize that one overlaps with the other, glitches in our perception occur? Do you think all of this is just fantasy? Maybe. But what if everything we're talking about has deeper roots in the nature of our reality? What if these strange occurrences are like codes meant to take us beyond the limitations of perception, opening windows into what lies beyond our normal experience? You'll start to notice more and more of these small but significant anomalies and disruptions. You'll realize that the reality surrounding you isn't static, it's a dynamic, ever-changing system, and as you become more attuned to it, you'll notice it responding in ways you never expected. You'll begin to understand that the world is not just some random collection of events, but an interconnected web that reacts to your thoughts, emotions, and actions. And now you can see that this reality is not what you once thought it was. You begin to realize that you're not just an observer, you're an active participant in this simulation. You influence it not only through your actions, but through your thoughts, feelings, and intentions. And here's the real question. If the world is a simulation, what are you going to do about it? What steps will you take to understand how it works and how to use it to your advantage? That's up to you, but one thing is clear. You have the power to shift your perception, your thoughts, and your experience of reality.